sitting here enjoying a nice cool day with my window open and my fan, and then my neighbors decided to smoke weed. So actually, that's probably the only time I would have to like really complain about my neighbors. My neighbors are actually pretty cool, so they're pretty low key. Don't hear from them. Everybody around here is just trying to fucking make it, man. So Um, I live in a cul-de-sac, and we protect this cul-de-sac, man. Yep. If you are in the cul-de-sac and we don't know you, you're going to be questioned. Why are you here? What are you doing? Because my house is up against, well, not up against the highway. There's probably a 50-foot gap, and there's people walking back there all the time. I don't see them. I hear them because they're usually talking to themselves. They're usually talking to themselves. All right, this is the daily reflection. I don't remember if I kept it open. Did I keep it open? I did. I did keep it open. Before I get started, I want to talk a little bit. Don't press temptation, man. You know, I you know well, I'm going to talk about my higher power. My higher power has never, ever, ever, ever tested my sobriety. No. I sorry, I don't think my God has time for silly games like that. He's not going to test me. He's not going to test me. Why would I do that to my own kid? I know that my kid has a cocaine problem. So whenever they come over to my house, I just leave it lying on the kitchen table for him. I'm going to test him. No. God is not testing your sobriety. You're doing that. You're doing that. Don't tempt fate, man. Okay. For alcoholics, the near beer, the non-alcoholic beer, it has alcohol in it. Okay. Why? Your brain is saying certain things to you, and you are listening. Okay. Mocktails can be dangerous for some people. Now, when I got sober the first time, I was pretty young. I'd never even drank in a bar before. Okay. So it might be different, but for somebody like me, even now, when I have a V8, my brain will say, "Where's the vodka?" It still does it. Okay. So don't tempt, don't test your sobriety. Don't do that. That's not fair. That's not cool to you. That's playing games. Don't do that crap. All right, let's get to today's stuff. Did I say hello, Amber? If not, hello. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. My wife is finally coming home. She'll be home this evening. I tried to watch the Bronco game. I could not get it. So I said, fuck it, and cleaned my house. If you're here, please say hello. Oh, well. I actually was kind of ticked about it because I've been looking forward to it for, I don't know, 4 fucking months. They lied to me when it was on. You'll go to find out information. It's just people selling you crap. I'm so tired for that. Is that what it is for compulsive? Is that what they think the trick is? Yeah, that's saccharin. Diet Coke's not. I would imagine Diet Coke's just not good for you. Kind of like Coke. I drink Coke, man. I have a Coke problem. Speaking of Coke problems. All right. This one's called Defeats and Repairs. And what I'm going to do is, there's a couple parts in here. Well, you know what? This is how I'm going to do it. Okay. Guilt is really the reverse side of the coin of pride. Guilt aims at self-destruction and pride aims at the destruction of others. Huh. There were 4 people here. Come back. Oh, that's cool. Is everybody on? Okay. Who knows? So when I think of this, I think of my PTSD when I was, when I was being confronted on my PTSD that I just might have it and I wanted to deny it. And what I would say is, please don't, I have a deep respect for our military. Okay. I do. I have a deep respect for the people in our military. What they do is hard. They protect me. They keep my freedom. I have a deep respect for people that do that for me. Thank you, by the way. Right? So when they said I had PTSD, I'm like, those guys go through a lot of things. And for you to compare me to them is just uncool. Do you see what I'm doing? This is guilt. This is guilt. It's just pride in reverse. Hey, and it's denial. And they're like, you are correct, Dion. You do not have PTSD. You have CPTSD. Haha. I never get normal things. Okay. I don't have anxiety. I have acute anxiety. All right, let's move on. The moral inventory is a cool examination of the damages that occurred to us during life and a sincere effort to look at them in true perspective. Yeah, and now that we have the disease out of the way, whether it's alcohol or whatever, but for alcoholics, this has to do with a little bit of time. That alcohol can really cloud the brain. Okay, it's kind of like when you quit smoking. You get real lightheaded. That is because when you smoke, you don't get as much oxygen to your brain. So you become an airhead for a little bit when you quit smoking. And you have to go back. That's part of the detoxing of it. Yeah, you get those little brain zaps and shit. Ugh, I hate brain zaps. All right. So a sincere effort to look at them. So number one, I may have denied some things that happened in my life. There was one thing I denied, and I denied it so much that I had to go back to the person and ask if it actually happened. And they said, yes, Dion, it did. Don't ever contact me again. That's our life, man. Okay? It can be messy. It can be messy. This has the effect of taking the ground glass out of us, the emotional substance that still cuts and inhibits. Whew. Yeah, our feelings, man. Now feelings are valid. Feelings are valid, but unfortunately, feelings are not facts. I wish they were, because then I'd be winning at the game of life, but they're not. They're not. I ran around thinking that everybody had to submit to what I was doing, even in recovery. That's what PTSD is. Part of it. It was for me. All right, we're going to go to the big book, page 73. Actually, let's grab the other one. That one's like getting so wore out. I have a sponsee who has a year today. Woo! That's all I'm going to say. If he wants to say it online, he'll say it. Just know that, yeah. He sent me the message this morning. He's like, 365 day. I'm like, yes, man. We've been working together a year already. Wow. All right. 73 into action. All right. I'm just going to, I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah. I may not talk a lot on it, but I'm going to start at the top of page 72 if you would like to follow along. Having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? We've been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and discover the obstacles in our paths. We have admitted certain defects. We're really trying to get to Dr. Jekyll here. So actually, no, we need to do it. We need to do it. All right. Sorry. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. We have put our finger on the weak items in our personal inventory. Now, these are about to be cast out. This requires action on our part, which, when completed, will mean we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. This brings us to the fifth step of the program of recovery mentioned in the preceding chapter. This is perhaps difficult, especially discussing defects with another person. We think we have done well enough in admitting these things to ourselves. There's doubt in that. In actual practice, we usually find a solitary self-appraisal insufficient. And it's still that way for me. It doesn't matter how much self-seeking I do. I need other people. I need other people to get an accurate survey. Right? I need to have closed mouth friends in my life. What's a closed mouth friend? A closed mouth friend is a person, isn't just a person that keeps their mouth shut. No. A friend is, what the fuck are you doing? You're in your wrong. You're not in your lane, dude. You're not in your lane. Get in your lane. I know your intentions, and this ain't it. You're fucking miserable. You're making us miserable. Now get in your damn lane. That's a closed mouth friend. Okay. Many of us thought it necessary to go much further. Always take the next step. Don't stop. Take the next little step. I'm telling you, it adds up so fast. It adds up so fast. And these will be your dividends. The more dividends you have at the end of the day, fucking hallelujah. Good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't matter. It means you fucking did something today. We will be more reconciled discussing ourselves with another person when we see good reasons why we should do so. The best reason first, if we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives, trying to avoid this humbling experience. They have turned to easier methods. Almost invariably, they got drunk. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wondered why they fell. Okay, now we're getting to the leading the double life. Okay, thank you for your patience. But without reading this, we can't just jump in, man. See, it's taking that extra step. That's why I was going through I'm like, no, Dion, just do it. All right. We think the reason is they never completed their house cleaning. They took inventory, all right, but hung on to some of the worst items in stock. They only thought they had lost their egoism and fear. They only thought they had humbled themselves. Okay. What they're doing is two-stepping, not the country dance. That means steps 1 and 12. And this can be a dangerous place. They talk about two-stepping in the 12 by 12. But they had not learned enough of humility, fearlessness, and honesty in the sense that we find it necessary until they told someone else all their life story. And here we are. More than most people, the alcoholic leads a double life. More than most people. What does that tell you? Well, that most people do. A lot of people live a double life. They live the life that they want everybody else to see, and then there's them. And I can't do that. Alcoholics can't do that. It will kill us. Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Hyde, that's what we're talking about. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? So Dr. Jekyll's my normal nature. Mr. Hyde is that person that comes out. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Hyde. Nothing wrong with my Mr. Hyde. My Mr. Hyde is that dangerous side of me. And I know all about me being dangerous. And the more you know how dangerous you are, the more you can pull that back. And that's humility. That's that is the act of humility. That is acting humble. Yeah. Knowing that you could do it, but not. Okay. The when I go down that route, it's so much easier for me to make the right decisions, to make good decisions. All right. To the outer world, he presents his stage life. Oh, he is very much the actor. The outer world, he presents his stage character. This is what he likes his fellows to see. He wants to enjoy a certain reputation, but knows in his heart he doesn't deserve it. And there it is. See, when you become honest with yourself, that will become extremely uncomfortable because you know it's not right. It's your intuition. Remember when you were 2 years old and your tummy hurt because you lied? It doesn't change. I just ignored it. And I ignored it when I was drinking. It was really easy to ignore it. I would just drink more. And then I would get a little bit of relief for a few minutes. That's all it was a few minutes, right? So, you know, we don't need to wear different masks. We don't need to wear different hats, even. Okay. Now, I don't, when my kids are around, I don't put on my dad hat. I don't have a dad hat. I'm just Dion. I'm not, and you know what? In and of itself is great. I don't need more than that. Okay. Because I already am more. I just have to find it. I have to look. I have to search diligently. I have to ask for help. Then I certainly got to do the work. Got to do the work, man. See what the daily reflection has to say on it. I don't know why they did this and then led us into action and was a little inconsistent. My 8-step list used to drag me into a whirlpool of resentments. My 8-step list used to drag me into a whirlpool of resentments. Well, then you need to do a 4-step. If you're at the 8th step and you're still in a whirlpool of resentments, I'm sorry, but then you didn't do a very good 4th and 5th step. After 4 years of sobriety, I was blocked by denial connected with an ongoing abusive relationship. Okay, you should have started with that. Now I feel like a dick. All right. I was blocked by denial that I get. Okay. The argument between fear and pride eased as the words of the step moved from my head to my heart. For the first time in years, I opened my box of paints and poured out an honest rage, an explosion of reds and blacks and yellows. As I looked at the drawing, tears of joy and relief flowed down my cheeks. In my disease, I had given up my art, a self-inflicted punishment far greater than any imposed from outside. In my recovery, I learned that the pain of my defects is the very substance God used to cleanse my character and set me free. They made this very confusing because I don't know what they're trying to get to. I do and I don't. I mean, all right. I'm a drummer and I was scared to drum because I was used to drumming drunk. Turned out I was a better drummer. I don't really drum as much anymore. Well, I haven't actually picked up my sticks in years, you know. Um, but we can block ourselves. I don't know how an 8-step list got into painting. It did. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm sure I'm missing something. Right? It's not like other people could be right, and I'm like, no, that's just wrong. But I'm gonna have to concede that I'm missing something there. but I do know about living a double life. And I know how it feels when I'm being fake. Because when I'm being fake, I'm not being honest. If I'm not being honest, I'm in danger. Filters. It's not you. You use a filter to take a picture. That's not you. I won't use those unless we're having fun or doing something, right? AI is, ooh, gotta be careful. I see a lot of ladies using that and seeing themselves younger, and then the self pity pops in. And I'm sorry, but you don't look like that. I don't care what the picture looks like. I know it's neat and everything, but you're telling your brain something, right? This and that kind of goes back to what you say to yourself matters. Okay, do not fool yourself on who you are. You want to know somebody's true nature? Go get in the car with them. Let them drive. Get into some traffic. They don't see the real person. See, you don't know a real person until you see them react to a situation. You don't. I don't know why this keeps popping up in my head. It's a little off topic, but it doesn't hurt unless it affects you. Like homelessness. If it doesn't affect you, you don't care about it. Not on your mind. Things like that, right? So just be aware of that. That if it's not affecting your life, then you don't have any real emotions around it, right? Now that doesn't mean that somebody else isn't going through something. And yes, we can be a little we can always be, I don't want to say nice because I'm not necessarily a nice person. Nice equals weak, man, and no thank you. I'd rather be good. I'd rather do esteemable acts. I would rather do something for somebody else without them knowing and go on with my merry day. Nobody needs to know. I know. God knows. Who else needs to know? No one. No one. I'd much rather I'd much rather come on here and brag about how somebody else is doing. Like my sponsee who's got a fucking year. This day's bigger for him than it is for me. And I get to enjoy it because I don't have jealousy and hate in my life anymore. Because I have what he has. That kind of helps. And he's turned into a fine specimen of a man. Yes, he's we alcoholics, when it comes down to it, we are really, really good people. Really are. Okay. But you gotta find that person. You gotta find that person. Bring them into your life. Ask for help. You're a lot stronger than you actually know and or give credit for. How will you know until you walk through it? You know, and you're not. The cool thing now is, you don't need you don't need it now. Sorry, my brain thought of something else, and that came out weird. That came out a little weird. So it's gonna be. It may be a while before that. Mr. Hyde is kind of subdued. What is that? What is that? Well, those are intrusive thoughts. Mr. Hyde ain't gone. No, Mr. Hyde is not gone. In fact, I utilize things from Mr. Hyde quite often. But what I do is I take it and then I talk to somebody else so I make sure I do it the right way. Right? So I know what Mr. Hyde is like, and I don't become that. You do it all the time. You do it all the time. Now you may need to fake it till you make it. I had to. Okay, people are like fake it till you make it. That's just junk advice. For somebody that didn't love themselves when they came into this program, that saying saved my life. I knew I didn't love myself. You knew I didn't love myself. So you loved me till I could love myself. Isn't that what we do for each other? That's what I thought. So that's what I do. I love people into sobriety. And I love loving other people into sobriety. It's, you know, it's better than anything I have ever received in this life. Besides my, my wife and my children and my grandchildren. But recovery, recovery is number one. But what's neat is recovery encompasses all of that. It encompasses fellowship and AA and God and my family. Yes, absolutely it does. Right? So really, what is this? What is this? Well, one's a good example and one's a bad example. If we're going to make it simple, one's a shit example and one's a bad one. Did you ever, Walt Disney, it was Daffy Duck. It was one of the ducks. Was it Donald? May have been Donald. Yeah, it was Donald. Donald Duck. He used to get his conscience, okay? In the cartoons, he would appear. One's a devil, one's an angel. And they would argue back and forth on what he should do, right? Of course, in the cartoon, he takes the devil's side, and the egg disappears. And it's Daffy Duck, I'm sorry. Maybe it's both the ducks. I don't know, but you get the point, don't you? Okay? You get the point. So, I don't know why, but I'm going to use this example and then I'm going to wrap up. Okay? Have you ever seen the movie Poltergeist? Okay? So these people, what this guy is, he's a housing developer. Guy that plays the lead, Dabney Coleman. No, it was not Dabney Coleman. It's a guy that was on Coach. So they move in, right? And they're one of the first people there, and you know the show, and then it starts to build up, and there's a poltergeist that's running around the house, and then they have to bring in the creepy short lady, and there's tennis balls, and at the end though, the guy's shaking his boss, and he goes, "You moved the tombstones, but you didn't move the bodies." Welcome to AA. Okay? And you're doing your fourth and fifth step, move the bodies, not the tombstones. All of it. All of it. Right? Probably not the best example, but kind of a fun one. I use Karate Kid too. AA is like Karate Kid. It's exactly like Karate Kid. One day you're going to be frustrated. Sixth, seventh step, usually when it happens. Tired of this. I need to go to meetings all the time. Am I going to do this the rest of my life? I don't feel complete. And your sponsor is going to go, well, I need you to wax on. You're going to go, oh. It may not even be your sponsor. What's going to happen is something is going to happen in your life. And you'll realize, I didn't even think of a drink. Wax on, motherfucker. Wax on. That's my new hashtag. Wax on, motherfucker. So keep on waxing. Keep on waxing. Maximum effort, my friends. Maximum effort. All right. Back to cleaning. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Amber, Gary, we had some other people. It's great. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You're like, yeah, but you don't even know me. I know. See, I can love you in the same sense that I know that meetings in Scotland are good. I've never been to Scotland, but I know the AA meetings there are good. Because they're AA meetings. Why wouldn't they be good? Love you. Peace out and have a day.